Yeah.
Welcome to the channel, everybody. Any outlaw country fans decide to join us? We've got a treat for you. We are going to be doing the song "Mama Tried" from Merle Haggard, and I'm not familiar with this song, but in searching for some context, I found some pretty amazing facts. It was released in 1968 as the first single and title track from the album "Mama Tried." It's one of the cornerstones of Merle Haggard's career, and he had a legendary career. It won the Grammy Hall of Fame Award in 1999, and it was selected for preservation in the National Recording Registry due to its cultural, historic, or artistic significance on March 23rd, 2016, just 14 days before Merle Haggard's death. So that is bittersweet. And in 2021, it was ranked at number 376 on Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time. So uh, I can take a guess as to what the song's lyrical topic is just from the title. But Merle, as a lot of these old country artists are, consummate storytellers. So we're going to let him tell the story. Okay, Danny actually told me something about Merle Haggard, and I want to look this up real quick. Basically, it sort of adds a new dimension to the song because apparently Merle actually escaped from jail, I think over 13 times, and as a result was put into San Quentin prison. So yeah, when we say outlaw country, that's not just a fancy marketing term. So poor Mrs. Haggard. But let's hear Merle tell a story.
The first thing I remember knowing was a long.
Pausing briefly, Danny is an idiot. He has apologized, but I need to be reframed. All good. All right, let's try this again. Mama tried, and we're trying to.
The first thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound, and no one could change my mind but Mama tried. The one and only rebel child from a family meek and mild, my mama seemed to know what lay in store. In spite of all my Sunday learning, towards the bad I kept on turning, till Mama couldn't hold me anymore. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
Lyrics are pretty heartbreaking so far. The music, like I love how when it starts, the acoustic guitar is completely in the left ear. Then there's what sounds like, I guess, pedal steel that's like in the center. And then I guess another guitar coming in on the right side, just all hard panned, and then it kind of comes together. That's some really nice production, especially for 1968. I love the clarity of the mix as well. Merle, his voice kind of reminds me of Willie Nelson. It's not quite as nasal, but it definitely has that focus and that warmth. And his vibrato is really nice and even as well. Again, he's not trying to put on a clinic of vocal showmanship. He is there to use his instrument to tell a story. So we're going to back this up a little bit because I would like to hear that intro one more time. Again, it's a short song, so we can listen to that. This here.
The first thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound, and no one could change my mind, but Mama tried. The one and only rebel child from a family meek and mild, my Mama seemed to know what lay in store. In spite of all my Sunday learning, towards the bad I kept on turning, till Mama couldn't hold me anymore.
So, quick pause. First of all, it actually stays panned. I thought they came together, but basically what happens is Merle's voice also comes in the center. So that's kind of like the glue, bringing these two things together, the bridge. The lyrics, I liked. Sometimes you can tell when in a big family with multiple kids, you can tell which one's going to be a troublemaker pretty early. And, all you can do is try to encourage their curiosity or encourage their freedom, because if you come down too hard, that's just going to make them want to do that stuff more. But you also want to try to steer them on the right direction. Parenting is hard. I would never want to have kids. And they're turned 21 in prison. That may actually be correct in Merle's case. I don't know how old he was when he was in prison. And no one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Yeah, I love my mother to death, and I've made some mistakes that I'm sure she wishes I hadn't made, but we still get along great. So, all right.
21 in prison, no one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Dear old daddy, rest his soul, left my mom a heavy load. She tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
I am sure Merle's mother. Danny and I do this every now and then. We fight over the stop button. But no, I'm sure Merle's mother is very proud of his achievements in music. That last verse hit hard when he said, God bless my daddy, he left my mom a heavy load. So I don't know if that means that he left or he passed away. I lost my dad at 13, and mom worked, I think, at one point in time, 3 jobs trying to make ends meet. And a young man needs his father growing up. There's all kinds of statistics that show that without the dad in the life, it's more likely that the kid is going to end up a rabble rouser and a troublemaker, among other things. So Merle was one of the ones that turned out good. He became a legendary artist. His songs, I'm sure, have helped so many people through their lives. So yeah, he did well. He made some mistakes early on, and he got himself back on track. And yeah, I can definitely see why this ended up in the I guess the song museum, because yeah, that is a topic that is never going to not be relevant. So props to Merle Haggard for tackling that so many years ago, and it's still it's, I could argue it's even more pertinent today, with both family members working, with the increased hours that are being asked of people to work. So yeah, I mean, again, a young boy needs his dad, but I appreciate the fact that Merle is sort of apologizing to his mom, but not necessarily being regretful of his life's decisions. He's just